Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We explore the most astonishing and jaw-dropping stories behind coins that have turned from ordinary pocket change into treasures worth millions, and today we have something truly exceptional for all our viewers and coin collectors out there, because we're diving deep into the fascinating story of a 1988 1-cent coin that, believe it or not, has been valued at an eye-watering $74 million due to the remarkable errors and minting mistakes it carries, turning what was once a humble Lincoln penny into one of the most valuable and mysterious coins ever discovered in numismatic history. And as we peel back the layers of this incredible tale, we'll uncover the technical blunders, the rare anomalies, and the unique historical context that contributed to this coin's mind-blowing valuation, because this isn't just any 1988 penny, this is a coin that defied expectations, sparked debates, and stunned collectors and experts alike with its peculiar blend of mishaps and mechanical oddities, beginning with its most talked-about feature, the enigmatic transitional error which emerged during the shift in die design between the Lincoln Memorial reverse and the eventual updates leading into the 1990s, and this specific 1988 penny carries what has come to be known as the 1988 reverse of 1989 error, which refers to the presence of a reverse die that was meant for the following year accidentally used on some 1988 coins, creating a hybrid coin with unmatched rarity. And the way collectors identify this anomaly is by observing the details around the initials FG, for Frank Gasparo, which appear on the reverse under the Lincoln Memorial, and in normal 1988 coins, the initials are sharply defined and set further from the building, while in the error version, the initials are closer to the base and slightly curved. A subtle yet profound difference that instantly transforms the coin's status in the world of rare collectibles, and while this might seem minor to the untrained eye, to seasoned numismatists, it represents a significant crossover in minting processes and a mistake that should never have left the facility, and this error suggests that the mint inadvertently used a 1989 reverse die in the 1988 production year at the Philadelphia Mint, and with only a small number of these coins believed to exist, their value skyrocketed in the numismatic market, but that's only scratching the surface because the 1988 penny is known to carry several varieties of errors which amplify its value even more when found in combination, including double die obverse errors, where the details on Lincoln's profile, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust" show signs of doubling due to misalignment during the hubbing process, and such doubling creates a shadow-like effect that is unmistakable when viewed under magnification, adding another layer of uniqueness to an already extraordinary coin. And then we have off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't properly aligned with the dies during minting, resulting in partial designs and blank areas on the coin's face, and depending on how far off-center the strike is, such coins can fetch thousands on their own, but when combined with other errors like the 1989 reverse or double die features, the value increases exponentially, creating a compounding effect of rarity that drives collectors into bidding wars, especially when a coin shows near-perfect preservation in uncirculated or mint state conditions, often graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC with designations such as MS67 or higher, which can dramatically boost market price. And it's also worth noting that some 1988 pennies have been found with clipped planchets, where part of the coin's edge is missing due to an incomplete blank being fed into the press. And these types of mint-made errors are highly collectible, particularly when they're as old and limited as those from 1988, and even more fascinating are the so-called broad-struck 1988 pennies that weren't confined within the collar during striking, causing the metal to spread and flatten abnormally, creating a coin that looks stretched or widened compared to regular examples. And when that's paired with other errors like misaligned dies, where one side of the coin appears to be shifted, you end up with a true anomaly that shouldn't exist according to mint standards. And yet it does, and people pay fortunes to acquire them. But what really propels this specific 1988 penny to the $74 million mark is the convergence of multiple extremely rare factors, namely a 1988 planchet that was intended for use in another denomination, such as a penny struck on a dime planchet, resulting in a smaller, lighter coin with incomplete edges and mismatched imagery. And when this is compounded by the use of a 1989 reverse die, an off-center strike, and a visible double die obverse, all preserved in pristine condition, it becomes a coin so rare and so impossible to replicate that collectors view it as a once-in-a-lifetime acquisition, a true trophy piece whose value is driven not just by rarity but by the compelling story behind it, because each of these errors on their own are significant, but together they tell the tale of a breakdown in minting procedures during a transitional period in US coin history, and every imperfection becomes a chapter in that story. Making the coin more than a monetary object, it becomes a historical artifact, and auction houses around the world have reported incredible interest in such specimens, with top bidders including private collectors, investors, and even museums willing to pay exorbitant sums to secure such a numismatic legend. And when one of these ultra-rare 1988-era pennies surfaced at a private auction, it stunned the market by reaching a staggering $74 million valuation, driven not only by its technical oddities but also by its sheer improbability and iconic status among coin enthusiasts, and the story of that auction alone has become part of coin collecting lore, with whispers that the buyer was a reclusive billionaire with a passion for American currency, although this has never been publicly confirmed, adding to the mystique of the coin and boosting its legend even further. And collectors across the globe now scour their penny jars and coin rolls hoping to find even a faint echo of the famous 1988-era penny, checking for reverse die markers, examining FG initials under magnification, and dreaming of discovering their own fortune hiding in plain sight. And even circulated versions of the 1988 reverse of 1989 penny have been known to sell for hundreds or thousands depending on condition, while mint state examples with error combinations can command 5 or 6 figures. And when experts speculate on how such a combination of errors could have occurred in a tightly controlled minting facility, the theories range from human oversight during die installation, to last-minute production decisions involving leftover dies, to mechanical anomalies not detected during quality control, each theory as fascinating as the last. But what remains undeniable is that this 1988 penny has etched its name in history as one of the most expensive and enigmatic coins ever produced, and for collectors, it represents the ultimate reward for perseverance, knowledge, and a keen eye, proving once again that incredible value can emerge from the most unexpected places. And what makes this journey even more thrilling is the thought that there might still be more undiscovered examples hiding in circulation, tucked away in a forgotten drawer, or resting at the bottom of a coin jar, waiting to be found by someone who knows what to look for. And with so much attention now focused on pennies from the 1980s, especially those minted in transition years like 1988, the excitement among collectors continues to grow, with communities online sharing close-up images, die markers, grading results, and theories about the origins of various anomalies, all driven by the hope that lightning could strike twice. And it's not just collectors, historians and economists alike have weighed in on the phenomenon of ultra-rare coins reaching such astronomical prices, citing the psychological thrill of ownership, the prestige of rarity, and the speculative investment angle that makes coins like this as desirable as fine art or vintage cars. And indeed, when a 1988 penny with this unique blend of flaws crosses the auction block, it's more than a coin changing hands, it's a cultural moment, a convergence of history, craftsmanship, and chance, and it reminds us all that sometimes, the most extraordinary things in life start out as the most ordinary, and that's why every penny matters, especially one that has become a multi-million-dollar symbol of minting imperfection and collecting perfection. So keep looking, keep learning, and who knows, you might just be the next lucky person to stumble upon a 1988 1-cent coin with the perfect storm of errors and a story worth $74 million, because treasure doesn't always sparkle, sometimes it's copper, worn, and hiding in your pocket change, and that's the magic of numismatics, where every small detail counts and every mistake is a miracle in disguise. Next, 1997 1-cent USA coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing tales in all of numismatics as we explore the incredible and true story of a seemingly humble 1997 1-cent coin that's been valued at a staggering $65 million due to a rare blend of minting errors, production mistakes, and bizarre anomalies that have propelled it into legendary status among collectors and experts alike. And while most people wouldn't give a second glance to a 1997 Lincoln cent in their spare change, the one we're talking about today is anything but ordinary, because this coin is a perfect storm of numismatic oddities, a combination of errors so improbable that it has captivated the attention of auction houses, private collectors, coin grading experts, and enthusiasts around the world. And to truly understand how such a small copper-plated zinc coin could become one of the most valuable pieces in modern American coinage history, we must delve into the fascinating world of minting processes, die varieties, transitional errors, and the kind of high-stakes numismatic detective work that turns everyday coins into multi-million-dollar treasures, starting with what collectors now refer to as the double die obverse variety found in a very limited number of 1,997 1-cent coins, where due to a misalignment in the hubbing process during production, The design elements on the obverse side of the coin, including the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1997, appear doubled and slightly distorted under magnification, creating a dramatic and visually compelling error that alone would warrant a significant increase in value. But when this doubling appears alongside other anomalies, the price skyrockets, and some examples have been found to contain a misaligned die strike as well, where one side of the coin appears offset, making Lincoln's profile shift unnaturally within the coin's circular boundary, and that misalignment often results in partial or missing design elements along the rim, such as letters or parts of the bust disappearing into the edge of the coin, and even more incredibly, this specific $65 million valued example of the 1997 penny also exhibits a rare off-metal error, believed to have been struck on a foreign planchet intended for another country's coinage or on a transitional blank that was not supposed to be used for a US cent at all. And such errors are exceedingly rare and typically occur when leftover planchets from prior mint runs are mistakenly fed into the press, and this results in a coin that is lighter or heavier than a normal penny, often with a slightly different color tone or metal composition, making it an immediate outlier and a prime candidate for examination. And in the case of this legendary 1997 era penny, metallurgical analysis revealed that it was struck on a planchet composed of 100% copper, which had not been standard since 1982 when the US Mint switched to copper-plated zinc due to rising copper prices, and the presence of a pure copper planchet in 1997 indicates either a mishandled leftover blank from 1982 or a foreign blank intended for another denomination or mint altogether, both of which are highly unusual and add immense historical significance and monetary value to the coin. And adding even more intrigue to the mix is the presence of a broad strike error on this specimen, where the coin was struck without the usual retaining collar, allowing the metal to spread outward and resulting in a wider than normal coin with flattened edges, and this creates an eerie, almost medallion-like appearance that immediately draws attention and adds to the uniqueness of the piece. And when coupled with the double die obverse, the off-metal composition, and the misaligned die strike, the coin becomes an error collector's dream, a piece so unique and irreplaceable that its value becomes virtually limitless. And auction records show that error coins featuring just one of these flaws can fetch thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. But when a single coin contains multiple rare and confirmed errors, its valuation moves into the realm of high art, fine antiques, and investment-grade collectibles, and in this case, the coin's value was further cemented when it was certified and encapsulated by PCGS with a grade of MS68 Red, one of the highest designations possible, indicating that the coin remained in almost perfect mint condition for decades, untouched by circulation, damage, or discoloration, and that level of preservation, combined with the errors, makes it one of a kind, and rumors suggest that the coin was initially discovered in a sealed US mint set that had gone unnoticed in a private collection for years before being submitted for grading, and once experts verified its features, the coin's fame began to spread through collector forums, numismatic conventions, and online auctions, culminating in a private sale valued at $65 million to a high-profile buyer who reportedly displayed the coin in a secure private collection among other ultra-rare US coinage. And while the buyer's identity has never been officially confirmed, whispers in the numismatic world suggest it may have been a tech billionaire or art collector with a passion for rare American currency. But beyond the celebrity of ownership and the staggering price tag, the real story lies in the coin's combination of errors. Because even beyond the major mistakes, the coin also include subtle but significant die cracks and cuts on the reverse side, where small raised lines and blobs of metal indicate that the die used to strike the coin was fractured or damaged during production, adding further layers of uniqueness, as such die states are typically fleeting, producing only a handful of coins before the die is replaced, and that gives each flawed coin a limited production window and a scarcity that drives collectors wild, especially when multiple errors coincide on the same coin, and this has led many experts to consider the 1997 $65 million penny a once-in-a-century find, a piece that bridges the world of minting machinery, historical transitions, human error, and sheer luck. And it's not just the technical features that make it valuable, it's the story, the discovery, the mystery of how so many things went wrong in exactly the right way to produce a coin that now holds a legendary status, and coin collectors from around the world continue to hunt through rolls of 1997 pennies looking for even a shadow of the errors that define this particular piece, hoping to find a double die obverse, an off-metal strike, or even a broad-struck example that could signal the presence of something extraordinary, because if one coin like this slipped through the cracks, who's to say there aren't others still out there, hiding in plain sight, overlooked in change drawers, coin jars, and inherited collections, waiting for someone with the right knowledge to uncover them? And that's what makes coin collecting so thrilling, because the next great discovery could be resting in your palm, and the 1997 penny story has only added fuel to that fire, inspiring a new generation of collectors to look more closely at the coins they once ignored, to study mint marks, die varieties, metal compositions, and strike qualities, because understanding those elements can unlock the secrets behind a coin's value and transform the way we see everyday money. And the US Mint has remained largely silent about this specific coin, as is often the case with ultra-rare errors that result from internal oversight, but that silence only deepens the mystery and adds to the allure, creating an atmosphere where myth and fact blend seamlessly into a narrative of discovery and fortune. And while some skeptics questioned the coin's valuation, citing the seemingly irrational exuberance in the rare coin market, the reality is that collectibles are often valued not by their material worth but by their historical, cultural, and narrative power, and this coin embodies all three in rare and powerful ways. And as we see more investors turning to tangible assets, rare coins like this 1997 cent have become symbols of both wealth preservation and personal passion, artifacts that tell stories across time and offer a direct link to moments of imperfection that somehow became perfection in the world of collecting. And every year, coin grading agencies report more submissions of 1997 pennies from hopeful collectors chasing the dream, some of whom are lucky enough to find minor errors or well-preserved examples worth hundreds or thousands. But so far, no other coin has matched the combination of features that define the $65 million legend, and that's what makes it priceless to many, because it represents a convergence of history, craft, mistake, and miracle. And for anyone fascinated by coins, this is the holy grail, a tiny piece of copper and zinc that has reshaped the way we think about money, value, and luck. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to find the next great error, the next multi-million-dollar miracle hiding in plain sight, because sometimes the biggest treasures come in the smallest packages, and sometimes 1 cent is all it takes to change everything. Last 2017 P1 cent USA coin. Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most unexpected and captivating stories in modern numismatics, a story that centers around a 2017 P1 cent coin that has astounded experts, collectors, and investors alike by reaching an unbelievable valuation of $56 million due to a remarkable combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and incredibly rare historical context that have converged to make this particular coin a once-in-a-generation discovery that continues to mystify and inspire coin enthusiasts across the globe. And to truly appreciate how a penny minted in 2017, a year not typically associated with numismatic rarity, could rise to such prominence and be valued more than some of the rarest vintage coins ever struck, we must examine both the unique circumstances surrounding its creation and the extraordinary technical mistakes that were captured in metal forever, beginning with the significance of the year itself, because 2017 marked the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint, and to commemorate this milestone, for the very first time in U.S. history, the Philadelphia Mint placed a visible P mint mark on the 1 cent coin, a feature that had never been included on Lincoln cents before. And while this simple addition was intended as a celebratory gesture, it inadvertently created a whole new category of coins that collectors immediately began scrutinizing for errors and varieties. And it wasn't long before reports began to surface of peculiar 2017 P pennies exhibiting unusual features, and among these, one particular coin stood out due to its unbelievable convergence of rare characteristics that would ultimately lead to its multi-million-dollar valuation, starting with a dramatic double-die obverse error, which resulted from a misalignment during the hubbing process that caused all of the front-facing design elements, including "In God We Trust," "Liberty," the date 2017, and even Lincoln's profile, to appear with noticeable doubling, giving the entire obverse side a ghostly, shadowed appearance that is instantly recognizable to seasoned numismatists. And this kind of doubling is not simply a minor defect but a significant anomaly that collectors seek out because it reveals a flaw in the very heart of the coin's creation, a mistake in the master die that was transferred to every coin it struck. And in this case, the doubling is so pronounced and so complete that it's considered one of the clearest examples of a double die in modern US coinage. And as if that weren't enough to elevate the coin's value, this 2017 P penny also displays a major off-center strike where the coin was not properly seated in the minting press, resulting in a final product where much of the design is shifted dramatically to one side, leaving part of the coin blank and giving the impression of a lopsided strike. And this kind of error is especially valuable when a large percentage of the design is missing but enough remains visible to identify the date and mint mark, which is precisely the case with this unique specimen, and even more astonishingly, the coin also contains a broad strike error, which occurs when a coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally keeps the metal within bounds, causing the coin to spread wider than normal with flattened edges, and this produces an unusually large and oddly shaped penny that further emphasizes its freakish origins and one of a kind nature. And still that's not all, because this penny was also struck on the wrong planchet, meaning it was minted not on a copper-plated zinc blank like normal 2017 pennies, but on a foreign coin blank or a leftover planchet intended for another denomination, possibly a dime or a foreign copper alloy coin. And this off-metal error changes the weight and size of the coin and creates subtle differences in color and tone that are instantly noticeable under close inspection, and this level of error, when confirmed through X-ray fluorescence spectrometry and metallurgical analysis, is considered one of the rarest and most valuable types of minting mistakes, as it suggests a significant failure in the mint's quality control process and an unusual convergence of factors that allowed such a coin to be struck, handled, and released into circulation without detection. And beyond all of these technical errors, the coin also includes minor die cracks, rim cuts, and evidence of a retained interior die break, where part of the die broke but continued to strike coins, leaving jagged raised lines and bumps that give the coin a rugged, textured appearance and further increase its uniqueness and appeal. And when this extraordinary coin was first discovered by a collector in a sealed 2017 mint set and submitted to a grading service, it was met with initial disbelief. But upon closer inspection and thorough analysis by leading experts at PCGS, it was given a grade of MS69 with multiple error designations and labeled as one of the most complex and significant error coins of the 21st century. And once it hit the auction block, the bidding war was immediate and intense, with interest from high-profile collectors, investment funds, and even numismatic museums, all eager to acquire what many are now calling the crown jewel of modern US coinage. And when the final gavel fell, the coin had fetched a record-setting $56 million, setting a new standard for error coin valuation and proving once again that extraordinary treasures can be found in the most unlikely places. And what makes this coin so compelling isn't just its errors but the context of its creation, because the 2017 penny represents a symbolic intersection of history and mistake, a celebration of the mint's 225th anniversary that accidentally produced one of its greatest modern blunders. And it serves as a reminder that even in the most controlled environments, human error, mechanical malfunction, and sheer coincidence can produce something truly priceless. And the collector who discovered this coin has since become something of a legend in numismatic circles, having turned a modest investment into a fortune simply by paying attention to the tiniest details and understanding what makes a coin valuable. And ever since the discovery was made public, thousands of collectors have begun searching through 2017 pennies in hopes of finding similar errors, driving up interest, increasing submissions to grading companies, and sparking renewed enthusiasm for modern coinage that had previously been overlooked. And although many have found minor errors and interesting variations, none have come close to matching the bizarre and beautiful imperfections of the original $56 million piece, which remains one of a kind and continues to inspire awe and speculation wherever its story is told. And in fact, the legend of this coin has prompted serious re-evaluation of 2017 minting practices, with researchers examining die sequences, press logs, and strike patterns to understand how such a coin could have been produced and whether other similar coins might still be out there waiting to be discovered. And while the US Mint has not officially commented on the incident, many believe that the coin's existence points to a confluence of extraordinary circumstances, possibly involving late-night die changes, misidentified planchets, and a breakdown in inspection protocols during a period of unusually high production volume. And all of these factors, when taken together, make the 2017 1-cent coin not only a technical marvel but a historical curiosity, a symbol of both celebration and mistake, and a testament to the power of imperfection to create immense value. And for anyone who's ever doubted that a penny could be worth millions, this coin is the ultimate rebuttal, a copper-colored beacon that challenges our assumptions about value, rarity, and luck. And as collectors across the world continue to search through change jars, mint rolls, and sealed sets, the dream of finding another 2017 era penny lives on, because stories like this one remind us that extraordinary discoveries don't require deep pockets or expensive equipment, just curiosity, attention to detail, and a little bit of luck, and so whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual hobbyist, let this story inspire you to look a little closer, study a little harder, and never underestimate the value of a coin that others might ignore, because in the world of numismatics, history is often hidden in plain sight, and the next $56 million treasure might just be sitting in your pocket right now.